Previously on the AC. Another year was beginning at Storytime High. I had just returned to town after leaving on a sailboat all summer to get over a broken heart, after Cherry had left me to be with Antonio. The town was just as I remembered it, though everyone was a bit shocked as I'd left without warning. My best buddy Wolfgang understood though. He knew how much I'd loved Cherry, and that I needed space to let her and Antonio be together. I was excited to hear that he'd started dating Amelia over the summer. Speaking of Antonio, we met at the aquarium, where we agreed there would be no hard feelings for what had happened. He and Cherry were still together, and he was now the star player on the Storytime High water polo team. Seeing Cherry again though, nothing could have prepared me for that. She was as boldly radiant as ever. She was popular, kind, and everyone looked up to her. We tried to be normal around each other, but I could see in her eyes that she couldn't quite forget our past entirely either. Not everyone was happy to see me though. Some people still remembered me as the mayor from the wrong side of the tracks who had dated the most popular girl in school and always ended up punching people at parties for some reason. Isabel told me there were tons of rumors floating around, like that I had passed out in Mexico or that I shot someone while working as a busboy at a lobster restaurant, but I told her none of it was true. I knew school wasn't going to be easy though. I needed to reinvent myself. I needed a makeover. Cherry came over to my home dance club to check out my new look. We hung out for a while, talking and deciding to try to be friends. She updated me on all the school gossip, like that Tank and Whitney were supposedly dating. Whitney and I had been good friends since freshman year, but I didn't know Tank that well, still, I was happy for her. School started, and everyone was staring and whispering, but I tried to hold my head high and ignore it. Someone said that Whitney had been the one starting all the rumors, but when I asked her about it, she seemed genuinely hurt, so I knew it wasn't true. After a long first day though, I was relieved when Zell told me he was throwing a birthday party. It was just what I needed, but he had a favor to ask first. Zell had a huge crush on Zucker, and he wanted to ask him to the party, but he was too nervous to do it himself. I agreed to help him out. Of course, the traditional Storytime way to ask someone out was to give them clothing, so Zell bought him a shirt and I delivered the goods. I found Zucker and popped the question. I was almost as nervous as Zell, but Zucker loved the shirt. He agreed to come to the party as Zell's date. Of course, at the time, he didn't know that Zucker was actually his adoptive grandfather's illegitimate love child, but that's a story for another day. Cherry and I had agreed to walk over to the party together, but when I got to her house, she told me that Amelia was moving away. It was really sudden and she hadn't told anyone else yet, especially Wolfgang. She asked me to keep it secret and reluctantly I agreed, but I was beginning to feel like the party was going to be rough. The party was packed and everyone who was anyone was there. I noticed that Amelia was being distant with Wolfgang and so did he. He kept asking what was wrong and finally she couldn't take it anymore and ran away. We were going to go after her but then Tank got in my way. Apparently he'd seen me and Whitney hanging out and he thought we were seeing each other behind his back. I tried to assure him that Whitney and I weren't like that, but then he sucker punched me. I hit him back and we fought until everyone else pulled us apart. Whitney was horrified and told Tank to buzz off. Everyone was feeling pretty rotten at this point, so we all went home. Whitney was hoping we could all make up, but it wasn't looking likely. The next day Amelia called me over. She wanted to explain things to Wolfgang properly and felt bad ditching him at the party. I went to get him and it turned out he was still pretty mad. When she told him she was moving, he just listened silently for a while before leaving. I could tell he was wrecked. I was afraid to see Tank again at school, but he ended up apologizing. Whitney had broken up with him because of the way he had acted. Tank said that he had always seen how he looked at each other and known there was something there, but he shouldn't have been so possessive. I told him again that there was nothing between us, but in fact, I was kind of starting to wonder. Whitney and I talked about it later and something just seemed different. We were realizing that maybe there was something more than friendship here. Whitney decided we should try to find out for ourselves. Before long, we were dating. It seemed as natural as our friendship had. Even though we'd known each other for years, we were learning more and more about each other every day. Cherry said she was happy for us, but even though we were both with other people now, it seemed like there was still something unspoken between us. Was I really over her? Me and Whitney kept dating, as did Cherry and Antonio, but rumor was they were fighting a lot. Meanwhile, Wolfgang left town to join an underground fight club to get over Amelia, and just when it seemed like everything was settling down, I overheard a conversation that would change everything.